Today on the table, we have a Walther P22. So I've actually had this gun for about 20 years, 19 or 20 years, so it is old to me. It was actually the second pistol that I ever bought. Like I said, it is a Walther P22. You can see that here. We'll do a quick safety check so you can see that obviously it is not loaded. And then the magazine, it doesn't have a button like you'd normally push right here. You actually pull open the frame right here, and then that makes the magazine pop out. And it came with 2 magazines. They're actually steel magazines. They're really nice. And I really, really like this gun, but there is a negative, and I'll go over that in a second. It is a 10-round mag. I mean, and it's nice because 22s, they usually have this little feeder thing right here on the side, so it's a lot easier. You know, I don't have arthritis or anything, but it's just a lot easier to just, you know, pull this down and then, you know, put the rounds in as you're loading. And, you know, when I bought this back in 2005, 2006, somewhere in there, you know, a round of a box of 50 of 22s were like, I don't know, $4, maybe that, maybe $2. They were super, super cheap, and they've come down in price and they've gotten a little bit better. But I loved shooting this. It was one that I showed my wife, so you know, so obviously she could try shooting, because it basically doesn't move when you pull the trigger. It's great, but well, we'll go through the rest of the history of it real fast, and then I'll tell you the biggest negative about it. It fits in your hand perfectly. It's a great carry gun because it does have a safety here on the side, as you can see. So it is nice. I mean, it is a small caliber, but it is a great, you know, throw in your pocket, you know, go to the park, any type of pistol that you want for that. They started making these in 2002, and they currently still make them. They are made by, you know, they're basically made by Smith & Wesson, which, or at least associated with Smith & Wesson because of Walther. And they're chambered in 22 long, I said, and they are, you know, 22 long is actually a 5.59. So if you think of AR rounds, which are the 5.56, basically it's a 22 caliber. You know, they're the exact same, just obviously one has a lot more powder behind it than the other one, but the projectile itself is still very small. These can be fired in double action. You know, it's about 11 pounds of force, you know, for that action is what do they say. It can obviously, it operates in single action, of course, and it takes about, I mean, trigger-wise, the trigger isn't that, you know, it's a pretty easy trigger to pull. I don't know what I would say. It can say that it's 4 pounds. I don't think that's the case. I think it feels lighter than that. It operates obviously with blowback energy, you know, from the motion of the cartridge leaving the case. Now, the one thing that does matter on these, though, is that you have to use because 22s are rimfire, as everybody knows, and you have to use higher pressure 22 rounds in order for it to cycle. So that is you know, or at least for it to cycle efficiently is the biggest thing. Now, I've shot thousands of rounds through this, and then at some point I started having a problem with it. What happened is that because they're rimfire, it would, you know, you'd go to pull the trigger, nothing would happen because either the firing pin would, you know, move over too far to the side and just nick the edge of the rim of the cartridge, and it wouldn't fire, and I would have that problem, and then eventually it just stopped firing. Like, I kept putting different rounds in it. It wouldn't even, the firing pin wouldn't even fire at all. So I took it to my local gun store. They have a gunsmith there. He put a new firing pin, which he had to order, as a matter of fact, for it. And then I went to take it back to the range, fired a couple rounds through it, and then it just started, same thing. I don't know if the ammunition I had was bad or what, but it just wasn't firing, you know, consistently like it was when it was brand new. Now, could I go buy another brand new one and see if there's a difference? Maybe, but I'd rather spend the money on, you know, something a lot cooler, maybe a lot older. So I don't know, I might take it to another smith, see if he can even change it, or see if they can figure out what to do just to make it a consistent shooter. You saw that old Beretta that I bought, that model 102 from the 70s or late 60s, early 70s. That thing, you can shoot 22s through it, and it has no flaws whatsoever. It's perfect. But I would really like to get this one back up and running. It's just been sitting in my safe for, you know, 20 years. It got fixed, I think last year, and then I was messing around trying to shoot it, you know, and I had those issues, and I figured, you know, no, I'm not going to. I have too many other pistols to shoot. I'll deal with this one later. But I wanted to show everyone because it is such a great, like, it is a great feeling. It feels great in your hand. It's got perfect weight to it. It is polymer here, and it's obviously metal up here. But, and it is very nice looking, even as a rail here, which I know, I don't think you'd want to put a light on it. But it is just a super, super cool little 22 pistol. So if you have one of these, let me know. If you've had problems with your firing pin, I'd love to hear about that too. But let me know in the comments, and thanks for watching.